Hello everyone and welcome back to the educational channel. In this episode we are going to be looking at vocabulary items, the reading comprehension, and finally we're going to end with the summary. So I hope you guys are ready. Now let's take a look at some of the vocabulary items. Beverage. So the word beverage is a drink, especially one other than water. So for example, let's say you are going to a restaurant and you ask for the beverages menu, okay? So it's the menu that has the drinks. So for example, people usually drink beverages while having dinner at restaurants. So for example, you can drink an orange juice, a smoothie, for example. These are all beverages, okay? The next word is catch up, and catch up is a noun, okay? So it is a meeting among friends who haven't seen one another in a very long time. So for example, we haven't seen each other in a while, so we decided to organize a catch-up. Okay, so we decided to organize a catch-up. Now, don't mix up this word with the word that's coming later on. Okay, so catch-up is a noun. Let's look at the next word. The next word is make it. So when you can make it to somewhere, then you can attend. Okay, so for example, although the traffic is bad, he can make it to the meeting on time. So even though the traffic is bad, he can make it to the meeting on time. He can attend the meeting, okay? Let's look at the next word, which is meet up. This is the word where I said do not mix it with the word catch up, okay? They might sound the same, but catch up is a noun. Meet up is a phrasal verb. Meet up means to meet someone either by arrangement or by chance, okay? So for example, we were a bit busy today, but we decided we will meet up tomorrow for coffee, okay? So we were a bit busy today, but we decided to meet up, that we will meet up tomorrow for coffee. The next word is reschedule, okay? Some people say reschedule, some people say reschedule, okay? So rescheduling something means, imagine you have a planned event on a certain day, but you cannot make it on that day, so you want to reschedule it, okay? You want to make it for another day to change the time of a planned event. So for example, due to bad weather conditions, we had to reschedule our meeting, okay? Let's look at the next word, which is sales. So sales is an event for the rapid disposal of goods at reduced prices for a period, especially the end of the season. So for example, you can see some shops saying, oh, we have a sale. So a sale is a discount where everything is cheaper in price. So for example, due to COVID-19, sales decreased dramatically. Okay, so the sales of everything decreased dramatically, okay? The next word and the last word, which is window shopping. So window shopping is when you pass by shops and you look at stuff that you want to buy for later on. So you, for example, let's say you find a shirt, or let's say, for example, you find a bag, okay? So you say, oh, I want to buy this later on, or I want to buy this for the future. So this is called window shopping. So window shopping is looking at merchandise in store, window, or showcases without buying anything. So for example, a lot of people do window shopping before buying an item. So again, a lot of people do window shopping before buying an item. So that means that they go and see the items before they actually buy it, okay? Now, once we have done with the vocabulary items, now let's move on to the reading comprehension, okay? So I'm gonna give you a few tips for the reading comprehension and how to answer the reading comprehension well. The first and the most important thing that you need to do is to read the questions before reading the passage, okay? So read the questions first. This will give you an idea of what to look for in the passage. Then you need to read the passage carefully and thoroughly. Number 3, deduce the meaning of difficult words through the context. You might not understand a lot of difficult words in the passage, but you can guess the meaning through the context that is there. Number 4, while reading the questions, pay attention to the keywords such as the best title, synonym, antonym, and refer to. Number 5, repeat the question as if you are explaining it to someone else to make sure you understand it. So imagine that you are explaining the question to someone. Okay, so imagine that you are explaining the question to someone so that you can understand it for yourself. Number 6, take your time while reading the choices given to you to make sure you have chosen the correct one. Okay? So not only read the questions, but at the same time read the answers to make sure that you have chosen the correct answer. Okay? The types of questions for the reading comprehension are the multiple choice, okay, which can come in the form of the best title or the main idea. And also it can come in the form of vocabulary. What is the synonym? So synonym, for example, means the closest to meaning. Okay? So for example, if you say big, the synonym is huge. Okay? The antonym. Antonyms are the opposite of the meaning. So big is small. Or they want the definition, which is the exact meaning. Okay? So big means something that is very large in size. Okay? The third question that you might have in the multiple choice is the word reference. So for example, they can say, what does this word refer to? So you need to go back and read the sentence and make sure what does it refer to. Number 4, locating information. So this is why I'm saying that you need to read the questions before you read the passage. Because once you read the questions, you know what you are looking for. And then when you go to read the passage, you can say, yes, I've read this in the question. This is what they want. So you can put an underline under that because that might be the answer to the question that you are looking for. Then you can go back to read the question and make sure that this is the information that you want. Number 5 is the false or true information. So what you are going to get is, for example, all of the answers are true except. So all of the answers that you have are true except for one. So here you are looking for the false information. Or it can be the opposite. All of the answers are false except. So here you are looking for the true information. Okay? The next type of questions are the productive questions. So the productive questions are the questions where you need to write the answer. Okay? They come in 2 forms. Explicit questions or implicit questions. The explicit questions, they are clear. Okay, so the answer is clear, the question is clear. The implicit question, no, you need to understand it because you're not going to find the answer clear in the passage. Okay? So let's take a look at an example of the reading passage. Okay? I want you guys to open your student books, page number 25, and let's read the following reading passage. Where do business people go these days to find out the latest business news or to keep up to date with scientific developments? The answer is simple. They log on to the internet. 300 years ago, the answer was just as simple. They went to a coffee house. There, for the price of a cup of coffee, people could read the newspaper, catch up on the latest news, listen to scientific lectures, do business, or simply chat about the state of the world. So moving on to the next paragraph, the European coffee houses of the early 1650s were mainly for businessmen, writers, politicians, and scientists. Like today's websites, coffee houses were exciting places to be, but you could never be sure that information you found there was accurate. In the 15 early days, only men went to the coffee houses because people thought that coffee was bad for a woman's health. Second paragraph. Coffee itself was first grown in Ethiopia, where people chewed the beans. From there, it spread to Arab countries, where it soon became very popular as a drink. People liked it because it had an interesting taste and gave them more energy when they felt sleepy. The first coffee house in London was opened in 1652 by Pascal Rosé, who was from Smyrna in Turkey. Coffee was an immediate success and large number of coffee houses opened. They became the center of social life in London. The following paragraph, the servants of important men went from one coffee house to another and passed on the latest news stories about what the politicians were doing or what was happening on the other side of the world. London coffee houses were very pleasant places with bookshelves, mirrors, pictures on the walls, and good furniture. They were calm places where people talked cordially to each other. If anyone started a quarrel, he had to buy a coffee or a cup of coffee for everyone in the coffee house. During the next 100 years, coffee spread to other Western European countries where, at first, people drank it as a medicine. Soon, it became a social drink, just as in Arab countries and Britain. In Kuwait, serving and drinking coffee have been at the heart of the country's famous hospitality for centuries. Following passage. In Kuwait, Diwaniyah is a place where conversations, discussions, and transactions are made over a cup of delicious Kuwaiti coffee. A guest's coffee is never empty in a Kuwaiti home. Only when the guest tips the cup from side to side does the host stop refilling it with hot black coffee. The beans are ground with cardamom seeds, which gives the coffee a distinctive flavor. Coffee is still central to the ways people work, relax, and socialize in Kuwait and across the world. Now, let's look at the questions. The main idea of passage number 1, or paragraph number 1, is A, B, C, or D. Nowadays, we get the news from coffee houses. The internet helps us get the information we need. In the past, coffee houses had many different purposes. D, businessmen get their news from newspaper. So the main idea is, so what do you guys think? It is C. In the past, coffee houses had many different purposes. Let's look at question number 2. The word mainly in line 11, what does it mean? So what does the word mainly means? So the word mainly means chiefly, okay? Question number 3. The word it in line 20 refers to. So here you need to go back and read the passage to see what the word it here refers to. If you go back to the passage, you will find that the word it refers to coffee, okay? Let's see question number 4. We infer from the passage that coffee became part of many cultures around the world. Women drank coffee in the past. Coffee is more popular than tea. Nowadays, people drink coffee when they are sick. So we infer means we understand. We understand from the passage. What do we understand from the passage? So if you read the passage carefully, you read it thoroughly, then you will find out that the passage infers or means that the coffee has become part of many cultures around the world. Question number 5, and the last question of the multiple choice. All the sentences are false. So here we are looking at false sentences. So we are looking for the true sentence. Coffee became popular in Arab countries because it helped people sleep. That's not correct. Coffee was first brought to England by someone from Turkey. Coffee is an insignificant part of Kuwaiti hospitality. This is of course not correct. And D, there were frequent arguments and fights in London coffee houses. This is of course not correct. So the answer is B. Very good. Let's look at some of the productive questions. Nowadays, where do people get information from? If you read the passage, paragraph number 1, you will find that the answer is the internet. Nowadays, people get information from the internet. Question number 2. What did the price of a cup of coffee get people in the past? So what did you get for the price of a cup of coffee? You got the latest news. You did business and you chatted with people around the state of the world. Number 3, why did Arabs like coffee? They liked it because it had an interesting taste and it gave them energy when they felt sleepy. Okay? Question number 4, in London coffee houses, what was the punishment for starting a quarrel? If you start a quarrel or you start a fight, you need to buy coffee for everyone in the coffee house. Okay? Question number 5, why is the guest's cup never empty in Kuwaiti Diwaniyas? This is because a guest coffee house is never empty in a Diwaniyah as a sign of generous hospitality. Now let's go to the summary making. For the summary making, you need to read and understand the question properly. You need to read the paragraph and underline 4 answers in answer to the question, and then finally put them all together using first, second, third, and finally. The connective words, okay? So make sure you understand the passage, make sure you break up the ideas and then join them together, elaborate on the ideas, and maintain the meaning of the original passage and try to use your words, okay? You can change the vocabulary, you can make the sentence from active into passive, and you can change the word from noun into an adjective, for example, or into an adverb. Let's take a look at the question. How is tea prepared and consumed in China? How is tea prepared and consumed in China? In the passage, you will find Today, tea is the most popular drink in the world. In China, people show respect to one another by offering a cup of tea. This is the first answer. They make serious apologies to one another by pouring them tea. This is the second one. The third one is both the bride and groom kneel to their parents and while they're serving them tea as a sign of gratitude. This is the third one. And the final, the parents usually drink a small portion of tea and then they give the couple a red envelope which symbolizes good luck. Now we need to put them all together. Okay? So the first sentence, we change it into, first, offering a cup of tea shows respect to each other. Second, or you can say in addition, they pour tea to show their apologies for their mistakes. Furthermore, to thank their parents, the bride and groom serve tea to their parents. And finally, we say the parents give the newlyweds a good luck present by drinking tea. Then we need to put these sentences all together. We say, first, offering a cup of tea shows respect to each other. In addition, they pour tea to show their apologies for their mistakes. Furthermore, to thank their parents, the bride and the groom serve tea to their parents. Finally, the parents give the newlyweds a good luck by drinking the tea. In this episode, we looked at the new vocabulary, we looked at the reading comprehension, and we looked at the summary making. I hope you guys benefited from this episode, and I will see you again in the next.